It has been great to see the Super Mario Bros. Movie do so good at the box office because even though I was initially pretty worried about it, the film turned out to be really enjoyable and it has broken tons of records so far. But now its release in Japan has pushed it over that big $1 billion mark. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So yes, the Super Mario Bros. Movie has passed the $1 billion worldwide mark, and it deserves it. This movie was really good. I enjoyed it thoroughly, not just because it is a Super Mario Bros. Movie, but it was a very good, just family-friendly movie, and unfortunately, a lot of those these days are just really mediocre, but this one really stood out to me. So, as you can see, Super Mario Bros. Movie becomes 10th animated film to cross 1 billion. I have had to talk about this movie several times and all of the records that it has broken, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down, even though it has been out for a couple of weeks at this point. Nearly 1 month after the Super Mario Bros. Movie premiered with an impressive opening weekend at the box office, the animated film has hit another major milestone. The movie crossed $1 billion at the global box office on Sunday, and according to a news release from Universal, it continues to break box office records as it remains the #1 spot for the 4th consecutive weekend. Now, we all knew this movie was going to be successful, right? We knew that it was going to make money. We knew that it was going to do good just because it's a Super Mario Brothers film. But I just wasn't sure if it was going to be pushed over that $1 billion mark, especially this quickly, because initially we did hear some more worrying news just about the story in general, but after it came out and after the amazing scores were released, I gave it a chance, I saw it, and I was pleasantly surprised with it. And this is a movie that I'm glad to see has been so successful because not only does it mean good things for the future of video game adaptations, but it also is knocking competitors down a peg like Disney, okay? This film has broken so many Disney records. I bet the company is freaking out behind the scenes. I mean, tons of their records have now been overthrown. It says the Super Mario Bros. Movie is the 10th animated film in history to cross $1 billion, making it the 10th biggest animated movie of all time globally, beating out the $942.5 million that Minions Rise of Gru grossed in 2019. And funny enough, that was another Illumination film. This is the third Illumination film to actually hit this record, and of course, as it says, this is now the 10th largest animated film in history, which is crazy. It is great to hear. It says the movie premiered in the US and Canada on April 5th and ran up the score with more than 200 million and nearly 380 million internationally for its 5-day opening run. Now, just taking a quick peek at all of the other records that it has shattered, as you can see, it is the biggest worldwide opening of all time for an animated film, beating Frozen 2. It had the second biggest domestic opening of all time for an animated film, beating out Incredibles 2 and Finding Dory. It had the biggest opening of all time for a video game adaptation, and now it is the biggest video game adaptation of all time. And you have to consider that these numbers only include 1 weekend for Japan's launch. So over the next few weeks, this number is going to continue to skyrocket. Peaches and Green Super Mario Bros. Movie tops $1 billion worldwide, and it actually smashed the studio records in Japan. This film cannot stop winning. But it's not just me that is praising it. I mean, obviously, most other people are praising it as well, except for the critics. We don't care about the critics though. In my previous video that will be linked down below, I actually talked about how Miyamoto said that the negative critic reviews in the West actually helped push this film over the edge, that they knew it was going to do good, but all of the negative press surrounding the critic scores actually helped it a lot, which is hilarious. But the audience scores with over 10,000 verified ratings is sitting at a 96%, which is as close to perfect as you could ask for. Now that it's released in Japan, I think the news with this film is going to die down a little bit just because it's been out for a few weeks, it's opening in every market, and it is still doing great. But I wanted to read just a few of the comments on Twitter because, of course, people are really happy about this, saying things like, yes, this is awesome. This tends to happen when you actually make a game adaptation that the fan base wants. I wonder what other game adaptations will be done right if the Mario Bros. Movie overtakes Avengers Endgame, and at this point, it's looking like a possibility that this is going to end up being one of the highest grossing films of all time, at least for now, because it is still making a boatload of money. But yes, this is what happens when you just make content that the fan base actually wants. We have gotten some good video game adaptations, don't get me wrong, but I definitely feel like this is going to start a new trend. As I've mentioned before, they've talked about doing like a Mario cinematic universe and pushing out a bunch of movies like this, and I feel like that is going to happen. But I think a lot of other video game franchises will be picked up and worked on. It'll obviously be a couple of years until we actually get the kind of wave of these films, but I don't see them slowing down anytime soon because they're making good content that people are clearly paying to see. This could also mean a lot of trouble for Disney going forward because they're intent on trying to continue the MCU and the quality has gotten really bad. Even recent movies haven't done well, and look at the yet-to-be-released Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It is tracking currently to underperform. It seems between the quality and the quantity, people are just getting burnt out. Maybe it's time for them to take a step back, look at their competition, and refocus their plans with other universes potentially being launched. I knew that it was gonna reach 1 billion. Let's go. Peaches is better than any song that dropped this year. I also think that the Peaches song blowing up on social media like Twitter and TikTok probably helped to the film as well, because it is a pretty catchy tune that people have been playing over and over, and I mean, it topped the song charts online, so I think that that also helped. There's just a multitude of reasons why this movie has succeeded. This was an excellent cast, animation, and plot. I have to agree, the only person that I do not like is Seth Rogen. I am just sick and tired of him in any project at this point, though, but I thought the main cast was really good. Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Jack Black, all fantastic. I will still be keeping my eye on this film to see what other records it breaks, but it has finally officially passed the $1 billion worldwide mark, and people are just praising this film and how genuinely fun it was. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.